for tuning in. This is Samara Raw and Uncut, and you're listening to Be My Passenger, where you travel the highest levels of vibration with me. Today, we're going to talk about toxic and unhealthy people. But let's start by defining the word toxic. According to Oxford Languages, toxic is defined as poisonous or very harmful or unpleasant in a pervasive or insidious way. Many of us have encountered a toxic person or displayed toxic traits. WebMD states that toxic people love to manipulate those around them to get what they want. This means lying, bending the truth, exaggerating, or leaving out information so that you take a certain action or have a certain opinion of them. They'll do whatever it takes, even if it means hurting people. The primary coping mechanism a toxic person rely on to rid themselves of unhappy feelings is to discharge their feelings onto a close human target. Unhappy and toxic people live in a state of projection. I'm not talking about a person who is aware of their unhappiness but will still put their best foot forward each day. I'm referring to the special type of unhappy person who hates their life, their children, their relationships, their job. They find frustration in all aspects. They live in stagnation and can't help but create chaos everywhere that they go and with everything that they touch. Nothing ever goes right, nothing is ever good, and they just are a dark cloud raining on everyone's parade or anyone who is willing to listen to their victimization. I always try to approach these kinds of people from a place of diligence, empathy, and non-judgment, and often wonder how unbearable their pain must be, that they are blind to their own poisonous ways. But it boils down to one thing: a lack of gratitude for what they have and a permanent state of dissonance. This is not someone who has lost a loved one and is battling with grief. This is not someone who has been laid off from their job and unable to pay their bills. The level of unhappiness comes from a place of mental instability and unhealthy lifestyle. Someone who has made unhappiness their home and their only resting place, or should I say, a place of no rest, because most toxic people never sleep. This is someone who might never find peace on their deathbed. The toxicity becomes the blood in their veins, the air that they breathe, and the words, which is actually garbage, that they speak. They will harp on people every chance they get to deflect from the pain within. They get stimulated by control and criticize everything because that is the only way they get a sense of satisfaction. But it never lasts, because when they're alone, those demons haunt them and they're left with a level of emptiness that nothing and no one will ever fulfill. They try to numb themselves to not feel the coldness that they already have established in their life, but it only leads them down an ever-winding road and never-ending road of destruction. I was watching a video the other night, and one of the comments said that it is strange when people have more than you, yet they have toxicity towards you. People definitely hate on you when you have the integrity that they lack. People will get jealous of you when you are happy. They get envious of your beauty, the way you bring yourself, and you do not entertain their tyranny. They get perplexed by your grace, your ability to communicate, the confidence that you possess. They hate the way you take care of yourself, the way you style your hair, the way you dress, and the God-given light that is within you. This is true, and I know that many of you who are listening can concur with such vindictive behavior which was displayed towards you. The thing about toxic people is that they make you a target of their insecurity and hostility. They want to inflict the same wounds on you that they refuse to heal or take notice of. Not everyone has the ability to look in the mirror, but a toxic person is a coward to their own reflection. It makes them see all that they're lacking instead of what wonderful things they can be. Toxic people don't like chosen ones because a chosen one irritates their demons. This is the same demons who feast on their flesh and consume their minds on a daily basis. Chosen ones see beyond the mask and can sense a toxic person's turmoil. This is seen as a threat to a toxic person who refuses to do the work. A toxic person might see a chosen one in all their glory, but they never know the true story. They see you smile, but they don't know the blood, the sweat, the tears you sacrifice to reach this level of peace. They want your light, but they're not willing to relinquish their darkness so that they can find their own light. They want to be like you, but they're not willing to acknowledge their traumas and seek healing. But my advice is to never stoop to a toxic person's level. Toxic people actually love you. They love you so much that they hate you and can't stand you at the same time. You trigger them and always will until they heal their inner child. They hate your essence, your ability to be noticed without overtly seeking validation. I want you to know that it's never about you. You're not the problem. And it is okay to detach from the toxic projection. I highly recommend exercising patience because every day the bucket goes to the well, one day the bottom will fall out. One day they will crack. You might not be able to see it, but it will happen. You have to know you met them in their miserable and hateful life, and you will leave them there. Everything will reveal itself with time, and sometimes you are a catalyst for change or a karmic dish served cold to a toxic person. Another thing I want you to remember is when you are greatly protected, you will slowly see the person who projects their toxicity towards you start to deteriorate. Their whole existence will fall apart. This is not your doing or your wishing, but it is what happens when you don't have a good heart or possess genuine care. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing repetitively and expecting the same results. It is astonishing how someone is unable to find the correlation between their toxicity and the chronic illness. One day, they will be suffocated by it. They will never get better until they do right by others. After all, it is their sins that they've committed against others manifest in the chronic illness. And remember that the body keeps its score. You can't allow envious and miserable people to steal your joy, your confidence, or your strength. Continue to shine anyway. There are people who want you to feel less assured and want you to take on their battles. It is not your battle to fight, so continue to walk with your head high anyway. They might be challenged by your ability to be resilient even in the midst of their disrespect. Continue to be respectful and maintain integrity anyway, because the truth is they have to bend over backwards and sleep with the enemy to get to the top. But I want you to continue to honor your self-worth anyways. The lack of gratitude and inability to focus on one's good fortune will send you down a rabbit hole of everlasting bitterness. And I have gotten to the point where I am very secure in myself and can make someone else shine without feeling as if I need to dim their light. I know deeply that toxicity is not a winning behavior that gets you brownie points or a seat at the table, and that most people who are toxic, they never elevate. They always stay the same. It's a revolving door. You can support other people willingly and openly without feeling less. And I want you to sometimes understand that interacting with a toxic person is a call to action by God and by the universe. It's time for inner reflection and to cleanse whatever is inside of you that attract this type of person. It is time to draw closer to God and to spiritually adorn yourself. I want you to take that energy and transform it into motivation. I want you to know you are ascending to a higher level when you come across these demons. And if it ever gets too much, ask your angels and your ancestors to step in and take control. Ask for help. You're never alone. And to the people who might identify with the level of toxicity and unhappiness I've described, I pity you. And I'm truly sorry from the bottom of my heart that you never felt enough. I'm sorry that you have to stoop so low. You don't have to live like this anymore. And I don't believe you deserve a life of everlasting pain. It is never too late for you. Healing is free, and so is salvation. In the words of Lauryn Hill, how are you going to win when you ain't right within? And I mean, really, how are you going to win when you're not right within? Thanks for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You may email me at bemypassenger11@gmail.com. Visit me at bemypassenger.co and follow me on Instagram at bemypassenger_. I love you and I thank you. Tune in some other time.